Hello and welcome to the Quantum Dispatch podcast. I say that as if it's the first one we've ever done because on Spotify, it is. Welcome on in. This is the Quantum Dispatch, a podcast where we talk about everything Star Citizen, from the latest news to the next big patches to the great events that they put on to the controversial topics and theory crafting. We've got it all here. We also host the much loved Concierge Challenge, where people have to build fleets for $1,000. But we'll get into that a bit later in the episode. So if you're new here, welcome on in. There is only two of us out of the four of us. This is a four-person cast. There's only two of us this evening, but we thought this would actually be quite a nice personal one to start off the Spotify audio podcast. So if you're new around here, welcome on in. And my name is GFA Plays, and with me today is the one and the only One Dark Enigma. Pete, how are you, my friend?
I'm good, thank you. I'm really good. We're just coming back after Bar Citizen yesterday here in Stafford. It was absolutely incredible. We had 17 developers turn out for it, and it was just incredible. It was One Air's birthday, so we got the chance to sing happy birthday. There was a cake, banners, balloons, the lot. We also then followed up with a load of fun activities and the return of the Find the Gladius in the bar. It didn't take them as long this year, despite it being more carefully placed. Last year it took them hours, even though it was in front of their faces, but it's cool. We had prizes. We had a 15-button stream deck from Icon City in his partnership with Elgato. So that was really cool. Then we had the Sabre Peregrine with the Star Kit and Paint as part of the package that everyone's been giving out recently. We have the Drake Vulture, and we had a Kruger L21 Wolf, all with LTI and game package. So there was a lot up for grabs. We have the bingo card that we do every year. The first person to complete that was the one that had the Sabre Peregrine. As it happens, the last one on a lot of people's sheets was retweet the group photo, and I was like, there's only one way I can do this, and it's like prep the tweet and then just quietly at one point just tweet that out, and straight away I had two people come to me and say, yeah, I've done it. I was like, okay, now I need to find out. And yeah, cool, found out who it was. They were very happy. But yeah, we also, one of the challenges was for the stream deck was for the attendees to plan and present their ship to the vehicle team at the event. And I mean, a lot of them are not safe for work to show. We had the Drake Penetrator, which kind of resembles the light that's behind you.
Oh yeah, no, that's the whole
shape.
That's the whole big D. That's what that is.
The whole D. And to be fair, man, the devs loved it. They were like, "This is class." Obviously, it was like very surmised version. It was like a drawing. One org, the Guevils. They put a lot of work and effort into their Drake Penetrator, and they came away with the top spot. But then we had others as well. Some were comical, some were like serious and stuff. The devs had loads of questions for the community, and the community had loads of questions for the devs. So everyone was happy.
Nice.
So that was what I was up to.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, unfortunately, I couldn't make it, obviously. I had other engagements that I had to deal with, but it looked amazing. I was really jealous that I couldn't make this one. Usually I come to them, obviously, but I couldn't make that one. But yeah, it looked great, and sounds like everyone had a great time. Whereas I've been playing Star Citizen and Crimson Desert. That's what I've been doing over the last couple of days, looking after the dog. So yeah, bit of a different weekend, but still quite fun. So today, I thought we would touch on 4.7, seeing as by the time people are listening and potentially watching this, because we are live at the moment for anyone that's listening on Spotify after the fact, but for anyone watching on YouTube, also after the fact, 4.7 will probably be out by now. It is on the cusp of release candidate. I think we're estimating Friday by the sounds of things, to the point where Jared was hopeful enough or confident enough to say in the last episode of ISC, when we release 4.7 next week. Not if, when. So it sounds like it's going to be a Friday release. So I guess today we'll go through everything that you can expect in that patch, and we will touch on the road to 4.8 as well, and I guess why this is such a big patch, and why it's going to make a huge difference to the game from a personal standpoint as well. For me personally, I know this is going to be the biggest patch they've done to get me back into playing more regularly. I still play a lot, but nowhere near as much as I used to, let's say, a year ago. So, where are you at with your 4.7 hopes or expectations in regards to what you're looking forward to? Is it the crafting? Is it the I guess crafting is the biggest thing, right? Is it rock cracker? How are you feeling?
Well, from what I've heard, is crafting is now slipping. Is it slipping to 4.8, or is that only the reward that was given with the recent missions for the crafting module, the fabricator?
I haven't heard it slip into 4.8.
Yeah, so I was a bit busy yesterday, but there was someone talking about how it slipped to 4.8, and there was a Spectrum post. I think it might be just for the reward that everyone got for the missions. I'm hoping chat can sort of like cast some light on this. But something crafting-wise, fabricator-wise, has slipped to 4.8.
But the fabricator you can buy on the in-game stores on 4.7, so that'd be
so
crazy.
It must be just the reward side of things.
Maybe some of the rewards. I don't think the fabricator has, because that's where we're going to do our crafting. Crafting isn't in the game if that's not there. I don't know. I feel like there would have been a Salty Mike video immediately if that had happened.
Oh, I don't know. That guy's muted.
Yeah, well, I like Salty Mike so I always watch his videos, and I have not seen anything come out. So yeah, I don't think so. Is my thing. I don't know who's giving you this information, but I feel like it is not accurate information.
It might not be. There's been a lot of misinformation going around recently. Some wild guy was talking about the 890 jump becoming a submarine module. Like, no idea who that could be.
well, let's talk about the things that we do know. We know that I'm going to talk about it as if crafting is in, because I've heard nothing of it being slipped. That is the whole patch, so I think it can't not be in. And the fabricator has to be there to be able to craft. So yeah, let's just pretend that other conversation we just had 2 seconds ago never happened. So the star of the 4.7, obviously, as we've gone over many times now, is crafting, and it'll be the first time that we can purchase fabricators from station refineries. They're going to be roughly 95,000 AUEC, and we can use them in our personal hangars. If we completed what was the mission that's just been done? What's the event that everyone's been doing?
The Alliance Aid. Yeah,
the Alliance Aid stuff. If you completed that, then obviously the main reward was the fabricator. That was the end reward for that. The exact same fabricator, for what it's worth. So basically it was 95k in the game stores, or free and tied to your account. So I've got it. I earned it. I did all the Alliance Aid stuff. I really enjoyed that. So I'm looking forward to having that in the personal hangar. And essentially what is going to be happening is we'll be starting with blueprints, and a lot of them will be just the default blueprints, which will be basic items like an S38 pistol or a P4 assault rifle. And this will then allow us to start working towards the high tier items like vault weapons, Palatino armor, and you'll need to hunt down blueprints, which now drop as rewards from missions, which is a huge thing for me, because I think most of us kind of feel like that AUEC is a bit pointless. People are billionaires in the game at this point, so I want other things to do the missions for. So if there's a 25% drop rate that you might get a blueprint from completing a mission, I'm going to be playing the heck out of the missions, especially missions I haven't done before. Does that kind of thing excite you, or are you not looking at the missions as something that you're super bothered about?
I will do missions, especially when there's rewards attached to it. However, whilst we were talking about that, I went back and looked at it, and yes, the Ready-Make Alliance Aid Fabricator has been pushed to 4.8, but not because it's not ready. It's something to do with the attribution timings. So basically when it gets delivered onto your account.
Oh, so we're all going to have to buy the fabricator now?
No, well, I guess you'll have to buy the fabricator, but the one you're going to receive as part of the Alliance Aid will be delivered for 4.8.
That's crazy. Okay.
It is what it is.
Yeah, fair enough.
I mean, crafting, I don't know. Am I excited for crafting? I'm very much excited for base building, but crafting, I'm not sure. In that, I mean, they sound like two of the same things, but like making your homestead compared to making a weapon or armor is two different things for me.
I hear you, But crafting is everything. It's everything. It's the foundation and the main mechanic that makes an MMO an MMO. So for me, if you think about it, the whole reason of playing the game, and let me just pull it back a little bit. The main issue that Star Citizen has, the main issue is they've sold everything on the storefront, right? People have bought ships, people have bought armor, people have bought guns. You can buy the best ship in the game. People have got Idrises. It's a problem. It's one of the main reasons people say it's pay to win and it's BS and blah, blah, blah. The reason crafting is such an important step is because everything we've ever bought will always be the base model. You've bought, let's say you bought an F8. That's going to be the base F8. An F7A Mark II. It's the base version, which will be the worst version. So, yes, we can kind of, get the ship in our hangars by buying it for real money. But actually, playing the game and leveling it up and building up the components, but not just building the components, actually crafting the components to have a better power plant than you can possibly buy by mining, refining, turning it into this blueprinted item that you've crafted. That power plant will be considerably better than anything you can buy. And this has been tested already, right? There's weapons you can buy, in 4.7 that are in like 10 times better than any of the like base weapons you can buy from a store, with recoil control and damage and all sorts. So it's kind of it's the foundation for the game. This is what's going to make it a game and no longer a NFT purchasing website. So I hear you saying maybe you're not super excited, and I'm with you, right? Crafting, farming, get that in my hands ASAP. That's the real meat on the bone that I want. But crafting is like, that's the turning point where we start to get a video game with tangible reasons to play it.
Yeah. No, I hear you. Yeah. If you pull out from it, then yeah, it's everything. But right now, it seems like it's very up close. It's do we want this pistol? And then you look at the requirements. I've never even heard of that. I don't know where I'm going to start. And then you have to go to like something like Cornerstone or a different website and start like doing the research. And then before you know it, PTU's over. And yeah, Screamer would like to know: will the blueprints be a keep for 1.0 or just available in alpha? I personally think we're going to see mission rewards come in the form of blueprints, and then that's going to be your keepsake to take over into 1.0 with you. I don't see those getting reset.
It's a really good question. They haven't specifically said that yet, obviously. I think we're getting to the point where the things we earn in the game are becoming account attributed, like the rewards for Alliance Aid, the paints and the armors and stuff. They're kind of making Star Citizen a live game service now, even though it's in alpha. So our things we earn we're keeping for the most part, for like mission rewards or event rewards, I should say. I think it depends. If they make drastic changes to any of it, then I can foresee them not letting us keep it indefinitely in 1.0, because it might be a bit unbalanced. The people that got it easier, then maybe people have to get it in the newer version if they've made it more difficult down the line to get a certain blueprint. If it's an OP blueprint is kind of what I'm getting at. So I think it depends. I would like to see it, and I think maybe, but unless it's tied to our accounts, like unless we see it in the My Hangar section, I think it'll all get reset personally. And I kind of want that. I kind of want 1.0 to be like clean slate. Everyone is on day one. Everyone's day zero. Obviously, if you bought a ship, you've got a bit of a head start, but good luck running an Idris on day one. It's going to be impossible because it's going to be so expensive to run. You're going to need millions to do that, right? So I love the idea of everyone being ground zero on 1.0 day one.
Everyone being poor.
Yeah, man.
Asset rich, but money poor.
Yeah, exact. Cash poor. I want to see people doing janitor tasks on the stations. I want to see people flying Auroras and the base ships at the beginning, because it's too expensive to run the more complicated or bigger ships. at the very start. You're not a high enough level in your flight suit. You know, the whole classes system they're doing.
So post 1.0, when there is no resets planned, would you like to see yourself, maybe as a form of repercussion for some negative or unfortunate choices you've made, being essentially almost reset? Like you kill someone, is a high roller, but you know there needs to be some sort of like remuneration, and they sue you for all the money in your account, and it's like, oh no, my UECs, and I'm now poor and I have to be a janitor again.
Yeah, I mean, it could happen, right? It depends. I think this is I've always said this is the problem with LTI. I don't think LTI should exist at all. I think everything you buy on the hangar should be as it is when you don't have LTI, where eventually if you run out of your insurance, you lose the ship, but you have a warranty, basically a blueprint, you can always get your ship back. It's never lost if you've purchased it, but you might not be able to use it in game if you haven't kept up with the insurance. I think everything should be like that, because it comes back to this exact point that you've just made. If you do lose everything because you've annoyed someone that's a high roller and you're broke, you've still got your base ship that you've got LTI for, because you're never going to run out of that insurance. I don't like that. I like the idea of you might be able to temporarily lose it until you can afford to get it back. So swings and roundabouts. But yeah, I would like to see people hitting rock bottom. It'd be great. It's gameplay. Play the game. You know, I like it. What about you?
I personally think that the poor citizen needs to be something that is real and tangible in the game, because all economies have lower class workers, and they require those lower class of workers for exploitation. No, I mean for
Yeah.
to be sort of the bottom rung of the ladder. There has to be that sort of like game loop. I mean, we're going to see it with janitor tasks and stuff. So if you were stranded or had no money or you lost your ship or whatever, you've got to redo those beginning steps. I don't know. I just don't want people to be put by playing the game. But there again, I suppose if you're down on your luck, you've got nothing, go and be a crewman. Go and crew the ship, because otherwise everyone is going to want to fly their own ships. And by this point, everyone has got a multi-crew ship. There's just not enough crew to go around. And how many times do people go, oh yeah, we're going to do this thing. Oh, can I come and be a crew member? It's like, sure. But that question never gets asked. It's like, oh, which ship shall I bring? Okay. I'll fly this Idris solo. You bring your Avenger Titan and we'll go. But Gridimus wants to know, well, he hopes that pledged ships are going to get turned into blueprints. How would you feel about that?
I personally would like to see pledged items turned into blueprints. Yeah, I would. Weapons, armor, and even ships. I'm very much an advocate of the game being everyone starts ground zero. Yes, some people have the blueprints and they've got the head start for that, but ultimately you have to earn your way up to getting that thing. I'm a believer of having to craft, have to earn your ship back from day one. I don't think you should spawn in and in your list of ships you can get, you see an Idris or whatever. I mean, the other argument is you won't be able to use it anyway, right? As I said earlier, the cost of running those bigger ships is going to be impossible to use. Probably, I don't think you'll see an Idris flying around. Well, you might see one flying on day one, but day 2, 3, 4 onwards, you won't see one for like a week or two, because it's going to cost so much money to just refuel it and to rearm it. I mean, I was finding the clips today. I shot 3 torps. It was 890k to replace those 3 torps that I shot.
Wow.
And you're not making that money back. And 2 of the torps went dumb halfway through and crashed into the ground, even though they were locked on due to a bug. And then the other one hit and blew up the constellation I was shooting. But 890k, I didn't get anything for that. I got a couple of bits of cargo. That
kind of forces you down the illegal what should we say, like insurance fraud route.
What,
Like, oh no, my Eclipse, it crashed. I need new Eclipse, and it comes back with 3 missiles, and off you go.
but it doesn't. Well, it does at the moment. They took it off, didn't they? They temporarily
A while ago, yeah.
Yeah, they took it off a while ago, where you claimed your ship and you wouldn't get those missiles back. But then everyone kicked off about it, so they put it back. So right now you do, but eventually you won't. So yeah, I mean, it won't.
Maybe you should just get your vehicle without any sort of munitions, maybe even without weapons, and then you've got to go and source those weapons yourself.
I think when you first buy it, oh, you mean it as an insurance claim? I think it's kind of like it's like for like, right? It's like how you with a car, like they look at your mileage, they look at your wear and tear, so it's kind of like for like. So I don't mind it coming back with how it was when it got blown up. Like if you shot 3 missiles, you get it back without those missiles or torps, whatever. But if you shot 500 of your 1,000 rounds of ballistics, I think spawning with 500 is okay, because it's like for like. If your weapon got shot off during your combat, yeah, you shouldn't get that weapon back when you spawn it. It gets rid of all the duping issues if you just get it back as it was at point of death. But it's hard to know that, especially for CIG. Now they're making ships like hard to kill, like to full death, and they're going to be like semi-disabled when you take the power plant down and a wing's missing or something. How do you say what a ship's state is in at the time of claiming? I don't know. It's difficult.
Yeah.
But yeah, that I agree. I like that.
And so if you were going to get those weapons back and you've crafted them, you've spent time, because as you know, like your quality is going to range from 0 to 1,000, and you're up on the upper end of that scale and your ship gets destroyed. How do you feel they should give you those weapons back? Bear in mind that you crafted them. They're always going to be better than something you could just buy, but they were of that level and it was insured.
Hello?
Hello?
Oh, sorry, you cut out there for the end. Could you repeat that? Literally got the lot.
So,
just the last sentence.
So you've got your Gladius, and but you crafted the weapons, put on the wings, and then you've lost your Gladius. But they were like, as they ranged from 0 to 1,000, with 1,000 being the most perfect material that you could use to craft them. Because they're better than anything you can buy, the insurance company is just not, they're not going to go and craft it for you. They're going to go, oh, we'll just buy this and give it to you on that ship.
Yeah.
It's part of like your claim. So people are going to feel a bit bereft of receiving a lower class weapon. How do you feel they should deal with that?
The same way they deal with like real life insurance, in the terms of if I go and buy a Ford Fiesta now and I get it insured, and then I go and put 4 brand new £10,000 per alloy new alloys on it, obviously ridiculous money, they don't cost that much, but let's say I put 4 10 grand new alloys on it, I crash it right off, but I didn't tell my insurance company about those additions, and I'm not paying a higher premium for those additions, they're not going to pay me out for that. They're going to say, this is the car that you've got insured, it only had the base wheels, so we're only giving you the base wheels.
Yeah.
But if I've told them and they've said, oh cool, you've got those on, that's going to cost you an extra £200 a month, whatever, for your insurance, then I'm paying the higher premium, I should get back the higher stuff. A lot of, because Star Citizen, the systems they're using, a lot of it has been done before in other games or in real life. If they just make sure they lean into those avenues, I don't think they can really go wrong. Like, insurance works in real life. Just take that business model and extrapolate it into a game. I personally think the insurance and warranty system in Star Citizen could not be easier to design, because we've got it in real life, and we can make it the same in the game. In my opinion, I will say.
Yeah, so following that sort of logic, and if you want to correlate it with real life, and you've got something that's bespoke because you've crafted it yourself, there's only one of that, then you are going to pay that higher premium, because, you know, say you've got a one-of-a-kind painting on the wall and then you lose it in a house fire. They're not going to go, we've just managed to get the artist to, you know, we've dug him up, we've revived him, he's painted you a new fresh one, here you go. It's going to be a case of, right, well, you had it insured for that amount, here's the amount of Alpha UEC, which I suppose then you can use to barter to go and get the goods to remake. But it's a lot of rigmarole for a game.
But I like it though. But here's the
Not
rub.
everyone is.
I know. True, right. I know I'm in the minority there, but here's the rub, right? There's some things in life that you can't insure because they're too expensive or too rare. That exists, and sometimes you have to go to a special insurance company, or an insurer that you insure it through might have a reinsurer. I mean, we're getting into the weeds a bit there, but if you think about it in this way, if you find a rare one of whatever, or you've crafted this specific component with the best materials in the game, maybe you shouldn't be able to insure that. If it is like genuinely that good, maybe it's something that you get the blueprint for, but you've got to craft it again if you lose it. I don't see why not. Why should you, once you've crafted X item, why should you have that forever? Like, you've got the blueprint to make it again, you just have to go and get the materials again. Because the blueprint's the rare bit. So if you've got the blueprint that says this is how you make this weapon, and then you go and get the materials, ultimately you're just trying to get 100 out of 100 like quality level, and that gets you the best version of that blueprint, right? So I just think you should have to do it again. It's more gameplay. Play the game. Go and recraft it. As long as you haven't lost the blueprint to know how to make it, then I don't see the big deal.
Yeah, and then Gridimus is adding on to that with a good point, to be fair. Disposable items make industrial gameplay endless. So it's, oh no, I've lost my Saber Raven. I can't just get another one. I've got to go out and mine what I need to build another Saber Raven. People are going to do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially if you can build it and give it to someone else. People can be like, I sell Saber Ravens. Come to me. Loads of Alpha UEC.
Yeah. It makes the game enjoyable, because crafting is only as good as how long it stays fresh for. If you can just craft the item once and then you've got it forever, like, what's the point? Like, you have to be able to lose it, even if it's insured to an extent. So I think insurance should really only cover the base model, and that's probably it, right? Like, yeah, if you have to work again to make it again, you have to work again to make it again. That's the gameplay. Without that, you've just crafted it once and you're like, right, I'm done. I've finished this game.
Just log off.
Yeah. So
lost online 6 years ago.
So yeah, it looks like, while we're on the topic of that, crafting is going to be requiring specific refined ores anyway. And obviously it's the quality of the materials, ranging from 0 to 1,000. I thought it was 0 to 100, but 0 to 1,000 is directly impacting the statistics of the whatever we're crafting. So I'm assuming the better stuff will be in places like Pyro, and the worst stuff will be in places like Stanton, because high security versus low or no security.
That seems very manufactured, though, if they take that approach. Like, oh, it just happens that all the good stuff happens to be in Pyro. It's like...
Well, the way they said it, to be fair...
Maybe, like, more rare.
Yeah.
Because it's more feasible that people would have mined it over the years. But somewhere where it's essentially a frontier that hasn't been properly explored or mapped out would hold pockets of good quality stuff. Yeah, cool. All for that.
Yeah, that is how they've done it, for what it's worth. That's what they said. They said Stanton will still have the rare stuff, but it will be a lot harder to find. Whereas in Pyro, it might be plentiful. So that's how they explained it.
Pyro Gold Rush confirmed.
Mate,
are we going to see that? You reckon? Oh, yeah, we found this ore. Like, oh, my gosh, it's amazing. And then it starts to trickle out. And before you know it, whole ores tests are coming in, Grief and that are coming in to try and take it, like, and just try and hunker down and mine and extract that resource as quick as possible.
Well, and also, it gives us a very early, very small... because we need more star systems, but a very small and early version of exploration. You might explore, do some mapping, and find an ore, or a what would you call it, like a quarry or something. You know, you'd find like a little outlet of this material that's really rare and it's high quality. You might not be bothered about mining it. You're an explorer. You're not a miner. You're not someone that wants to go and craft these weapons. So you map the data, and then you can go and sell the data to other players and say, I've got a location of high quality, high material goods that are rare, ready to go, and it's got plentiful there. I'll sell you the location for 1 million UEC. and then you just tell them where the coordinates are. So it could generate early versions of what exploring will become in the game, which is what I'm really excited for.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
Crafting's
really
huge,
cool.
man. Crafting is huge.
I hope they go more in depth with it, because right now it's like, oh, do you want this pistol? Cool, this is what you need, and here's the pistol. Obviously, I know you've got the quality side of things that come to it as well, but when specifically we look at engines have various amounts of components. I would like to see the option to play around with the materials and the quality of those materials of those components of the engine to try and get a better result out of it, say like racing. You could try and do the same with inner components of missiles or ballistic weapons, with like firing pins, make them tungsten, make them diamond, like just something which is going to prolong how long it takes before the weapon breaks down or needs servicing.
Yeah.
I want that core, like autism level crafting.
I think we'll get that. I think there's going to be so much iteration on it, and I think the possibility. The one good thing that comes out of the way that CIG do this entire like open development is feedback matters. A lot of people say it doesn't, but it definitely does, and they definitely make changes and decisions based on player feedback. Not all the time. Sometimes they're going to go with what they think's better because they know what they're doing and it's their product at the end of the day. But a lot of the time they do listen to feedback and make changes based on what people are talking about. It's why Spectrum, it's why content creators, it's why Reddit is important. It's a voice for the players to say how they're feeling about certain parts of the game. So I think we will see iterations on crafting to get to a point where it really makes sense for Star Citizen. But yeah, maybe not day one, but what you're talking about and that really like finite, in detail, in depth version of crafting, I think it will exist, and I'm really excited because it is also the road to base building if you think about it as well.
Yeah, it'd be really exciting.
Blueprints and stuff. So yeah.
Scream is chiming in with a question. Will there be a part of exploring which has better capabilities to scan and find higher value resources? Absolutely. Mm-hmm. I think if we're looking at something like the Carrack exploration, you're going to see obviously the number of arrays, the quality of the arrays if you've crafted additional arrays for your ship. And then we'll get into radar and stuff in a bit because there's changes coming to that. Then there's a whole meld of different reasons why we could see that become prevalent in the verse, like looking for higher value resources, I'm not saying, but like being able to see more of the ground and assess better and quicker what is under the ground.
Yeah,
and maybe like deeper ground penetrating radar, something along the lines of that. Hope that answers your question.
Yeah, 100%. Bang on, mate. There's definitely going to be different levels to exploring and how good you're, like, even mapping the jump points, right? Like as we get more star systems, things like a terrapin will still be able to do what a Carrack can do, but a Carrack will be able to do it better or more efficiently or from further distance and stuff. So there's levels to every part of Star Citizen and a hierarchy in the ship's capabilities, and I think this is no different. So yeah, exploration's always been something that I've been really interested in, and so I'm looking forward to how we crack on. But there is plenty more to talk about in 4.7, and I am conscious that I think how far are we through already?
Yeah, we're behind time.
Yeah, okay. So
we're always behind time.
I know, we get too carried away by... To be fair, crafting is massive, so I'm not sad about it. But we are getting on. So let's take a look as well, let's talk about the inventory rework. Something that has been coming for a long time and something that has been a quality of life improvement that we have all desired, probably on the same level as the star map. When that came out, have you seen the rework in action? And if you have, what do you think about it? And if you haven't, then I'm happy to talk a bit further about it.
I have, but I only used it briefly, and that was just to armor up and get out.
How did you find it from a responsiveness? Did you think it was better, the same, worse?
Aesthetically, it looks good. Mm-hmm. I had a couple of issues where it just wasn't going to work for me, and then I found that if you do it slightly different, then it would work. I didn't get a chance to try like the move all or sort buttons, but I just hope that those two buttons are going to start working reliably.
They
There's
should
nothing
do.
worse than it just rubber banding straight back to where it came from.
Yeah, and that we have that now. So it looks like, from what I'm understanding, because I haven't actually gone and used it, I've seen plenty of people using it in videos and clips and all sorts. I personally haven't jumped on and done it, but from what I've seen, it looks like it's potentially just a reskin, which is what I was hoping it wasn't going to be. Because it does. I mean, don't get me wrong, a reskin quality of life is still huge. It still makes life a lot easier to be able to see what's in your inventory and to drag things and to have more detailed tooltips for dropping into the right slots. But if it's still as laggy and buggy as it has always been with regard to the rubber banding and things splitting apart and not being able to stack items and sort items properly and not pictures not loading quick enough when you go through the pages, if that is still present, then what's the point? There's no point of them adding it to the game if none of the back end works, if it's just a visual overhaul. So I do hope that they address that sooner rather than later, because otherwise, in my opinion, it's CJ's 4.0. I like to say it. For anyone that is not as long in the tooth as some of our other audience members that have been following us, CJ likes to say that 4.0 still isn't out because loads of the features haven't made it in from what was supposed to be in 4.0. It's just a running joke here at this point. But I feel like this could be the same thing. Like, if inventory is just a reskin, but none of the back end's changed, then don't bother releasing it because it's the same rubbish. So, yeah, that's how I feel about it. I mean, it looks nice, but you can give a Nissan Micra a lovely polish with an expensive car wash, but it's still a Nissan Micra.
Talking about vehicles,
Yeah.
the Sabre Peregrine with the Star Kit and livery looks absolutely incredible.
It does.
I just wanted to make sure I covered that. I think it looks absolutely insane.
I love it. It looks great. It does look good.
So, Operation Rockbreaker and the Next Dungeons. I actually don't know a lot about this.
So, me neither. No, I'm joking. It's very similar to what we've had, like with the Hathor laser, where you have to power it up by doing a variety of smaller side quests, if you like, fetch quests of getting objects and moving it from A to B, placing it into a terminal to power up the laser and to crack open a rock, similar to Hathor, cracking open the ground. And essentially it's going to be where you're going to get a very good yield of materials, right? There's two areas. There's going to be a PvP focused area and a PvE focused area. The PvE does not necessarily mean that there is no PvP. You could technically still hide. You could sit at a PvE mission, in theory, for hours if you were that way inclined, which I'm sure someone will be, and wait for the mission to cycle to a new player group, and then they come in and you're just sitting there, and then technically you've made it PvP. At least that's how it was about a week ago in testing. They might patch it and change it, I don't know. But it's supposed to be no PvP, basically. But you have to pay a higher cost for the PvE mission because it's less risky. It's about 850k for private access for the PvE version, whereas the contested area, which is where PvP is kind of enabled, is only 125. So significantly less if you're happy to take on other players, essentially. How do you feel about that structure? Do you like the fact that they're putting these kind of things in where people can make the choice to go for PvE instead of PvP, but they have to pay for it? Or do you think everyone should be forced into, suck it up and just do PvP and like the rest of us kind of thing? Well, what? And that's not me saying that's my opinion, by the way. That's the way I'm phrasing the question. How do you feel about it? Being a lover of contested zones, that I know you are.
I do love contested zones, but I don't really understand the logic on this one. So if it's an abandoned Rockbreaker station, why is there PV anything there? Like, if you're choosing to go to something that's a derelict thing, is like, if there's people there, why are they not extracting the minerals themselves for profit?
No, I think maybe I don't know what the actual law of it is, to be fair. That's never been my strong point of Star Citizen, but I'm assuming it's a faction that have just taken it over and you're taking it back and then cracking the rock. So whether or not the AI that are there just haven't actually done it yet, but the way the difference is, both of them have AI. The PvP and PvE, they both have AI that are defending it that you have to fight through. The difference is you have private missions. Excuse me. You have private missions that are just for you and your crew that you've paid 850k for, which other players do not get the marker to jump to and be at, because that's your private access mission. Or you have a cheaper version where multiple people have the same marker and can go to, but the actual mission and combat and AI is the same. There's just one you're going to have other players to contest against, and the other you're not. That's the difference.
Kind of makes it a bit like an ASD facility.
Very similar to ASD, although ASD was always PvP technically. People can just kill you, they just choose not to because it's in Stanton, right? And you give them a crime stat.
So many ASD facilities.
Yes, and there's I like to say it's closer to the first. It's like instancing without instancing.
Yeah.
Because they're giving you private access to your own area, but it's not actually your own area. So it's like instancing in that sense, but it isn't, because other players could go there. They can't get the same mission and the same waypoint, but they could just wait there in the hope that another PvE mission gets set there. But if CIG have coded it right, which I'm sure they have, they should be able to code it to say, if there's a player in this area, don't give this area this mission. Does open up the possibility to a bunch of trolls sit, like you could get a group of 10 people, and one by one they sit at these locations, and they're eventually there's no location for PvE missions to spawn at. I don't know the back end of it, right? But possibility.
And yeah.
But yeah, so the way it's been described as well is, don't expect an easy payday just because it's private. Early feedback suggests that the rewards may not match the high buy-in costs unless you secure 100% yield. So you might pay 850k to get in, but unless you actually extract 100% by properly calibrating the lasers, mirrors, and catalysts, you might not get all of the 100% yield essentially, and you won't actually match the cost that you've paid for that private 850k mission. So it's a very expensive buy-in. You're basically buying the privilege of not having to deal with other players. It's kind of irrelevant right now. People are billionaires. Money means nothing. I can go and make 850k in 10 minutes in Star Citizen right now, quite comfortably. And then 10 minutes work to have private access to go and get the rare materials that are used for the crafting. Yeah, I'll do that. So it's kind of a no-brainer. But things will change and money will become harder to get, I'm sure. So, are you happy to move on? Any more points on?
No, absolutely. I'm looking forward to learning more about it now that things are starting to calm down. I've got a lot on with personal life and work that I'm trying to get done by the 1st of April. I don't know why my life is tying in with the financial year. No idea. But I've set that as my date. I need to have it all sorted now. I can really start to relax and game a bit more and get back into it. And yeah, it's just been a busy section basically since Christmas.
Yeah, I feel you. I feel like I've only really managed to get back into Star Citizen recently, but it looks like a good time. There's a lot going on. You've got the .x patches, which we won't touch on today, but 4.7 is going to have a patch every 2 weeks. So there'll be a 4.1, 4.2, all the way up to 4.8 coming out. So there'll be, once this drops, there's going to be a bunch of content. It's going to feel like last year, where there was updates constantly for about a month or so, or two, all the way up to Invictus, right?
It's starting to become difficult to cover everything that's happening in Star Citizen with just a 1 hour weekly podcast that we run.
I know.
Especially when we start flapping gums and...
I know.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of which, let's move on. So, because we are running out of time, but there's still a few more points to cover. So, massive combat overhaul for armors and shields. So, essentially, now there's going to be a change where if a weapon doesn't meet the ship's minimum damage requirements, it will deal 0 damage to the hull or internal components. This essentially means that if you're running an arrow, it's basically the death of the light fighter meta. That is very certainly going away now. So where an arrow, like a skilled pilot in a Fury, or I can hear Avenger 1 screaming already, by the way. But if you have a very skilled pilot in a Fury or a Hawk or a Hornet, something like that, and they're attacking a Perseus, you're not going to pen the armor because you don't meet the damage requirement for that ship's armor level. So essentially you're doing 0 damage, like a lot of other MMOs, to be fair. So
What if you combine across the lasers?
I still don't think it matters, because it doesn't matter if you've got 1 size 1 weapon or 10 size 1 weapons, the projectiles are the same. That's like saying if you had an armored, you start saying you've got a tank and you had 1 guy with a missile launcher, or you had 100 guys with pistols. The 100 pistols are still not penetrating the tank, right?
Some might get lucky, I don't know.
So I don't think so. I mean, we're not even talking about like focus fire in one spot either. It's going across. So yeah, that's the way I think about it anyway. They might choose to gamify it and have compounded damage. God knows how they would ever work that out though. But yeah, maybe. I don't think so though. But heavy ships like the Perseus or Idris are now virtually going to be immune to smaller caliber weapons like size 1 or 2 repeaters. I mean, who is attacking an Idris or a Polaris or whatever with a size 1 or 2 repeater? I don't care who you are. What are you doing? But yeah, the light fighter meta is finally dying, and I'm for one very happy about it. Shields. All ships have received a general shield health buff, and energy weapons now deal significantly more damage to shields specifically, reinforcing the ballistics for hull and energy for shields meta. So you're going to be better to go in equipped with either one of each, like a ballistic, or not one of each, but ballistics
like
and
a hybrid
laser. Or have 2, like if there's 2 of you, one of you run ballistics, one of you run lasers, and you wait for the shield to drop before you stop using your ballistics. How do you feel about that?
This is a fantastic part, a segue to verbal controls, because you can map your fire groups to your triggers. I mean, the 3-stage triggers, 1, 2,
Dual stage.
Yeah. So you're able to essentially fire both. However, you're not going to want to anymore. You're going to want to take down those shields with the laser weapons and then go for the second stage to take out the hull with the ballistics.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas imagine on a mouse and keyboard, that's going to be a lot harder to do. You're probably going to be able to fire one group at once.
Yeah, and then scroll wheel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Shout out to Verbal Controls.
Shout out to Verbal Controls and how much we love their sticks. But yeah, I agree. It makes having joysticks even more prevalent than before as well, to have those dual stage triggers, and it's going to change the game a lot. I think I don't know where we stand with distortions. Obviously they just take down the shields, but will they take down shields quicker than laser? And will there be any point of running laser if distortions can do the job? And you've got 2 of you, you might as well do distortion and ballistic rather than laser and ballistic. I think there's a lot of questions that gets raised with it, and I think it's going to need a lot of testing. There's always going to be some form of meta that comes out of it, because it's so hard to build a game that doesn't have a meta of some sort in it. But I'm looking forward to it. It's already the case that lasers have a higher chance to make components go on fire. So ballistics pen and get through to them and damage them quicker, but lasers have a higher chance of setting them on fire. That came with engineering. Not sure if that's going out the window now or not, but I've kind of always been under the impression of this, that lasers drop shields quicker and ballistics don't pen. And I knew that ballistics went through shields to a certain extent, but I'm That's always how in my head I thought about it anyway, even though it wasn't the case. So I don't think it'll actually change too much for me. I'll always still use lasers until those shields are gone and then use ballistics. Is kind of how I've lived my life the entire time anyway. So
Yeah, there's definitely some questions there around the weapons because, like you say, if the laser's going to take down the shields and the ballistic deals with the hull, then where essentially does distortion come into that? Because would you want to run laser to take down the shields and then distortion the hull to get the maximum benefit of that to disable the ship? Or are you going to want to just say, well, I'm not going to use laser weapons, I'm just going to use distortion, either for both stages of that attack or for the preliminary, and then use the ballistics to back it up. So maybe it's something you can do always. Maybe the lasers are faster at taking it down, and the distortion obviously just adds that damage over time. So it'll be interesting to see where they're going to run with that.
yeah. I the way I look at it, or the way I think it will be, distortions will drop shields quicker and then have a chance of instantly knocking out components, not like EMP damage is my guess, like being temporarily taking out components once your shields are down, but not deal any damage to anything. Lasers will be able to take challenged shields and cause damage by penning, and then ballistics will just be ultimate hull damage. So if you have a ship that has like 4 size 4s, you might be best equipped to just take 4 lasers and melt the shield and then still get through the ship and kill that as well. On the flip side, it might be prevalent to melt the shields with distortions quicker and then go ballistics. I don't see the world of ever needing lasers and ballistics. I think it's distortions and ballistics or pure laser. That's the way I see it at the moment. But I think we're going to need some more testing on it, and we'll see how it goes.
Unless you CJ, in which case you go, I just need a mining ship.
Just give him a golem and he'll kill everyone. So, and by the way, let me know if you want to sort of read through it off any of this. I feel like I'm talking way too much, but
No, I'm happy with you taking the lead on this, to be fair.
okay. So missiles no longer damage internal components through the hull. Instead, they focus on exterior, and you can now choose between direct damage missiles, so small explosion radius, or area damage missiles for large radiuses. And just to touch on that as well, I don't know if you've seen this, but there's been, over the last couple of patches, people have started to use bombers as aerial combat, like air to air. They'll drop they'll fly in an A1, and they'll just go above like a Polaris and drop bombs on it and just fly back and forth and do that, like in the Spirit, and kill it quite easily. But bombs will no longer detonate on ships. So that entire gameplay is going to be gone. You will not be able to use a bomb in any way, shape, or form to attack another ship.
So basically, it's not armed before it would hit the ground.
Yeah.
It's only for ground.
And I think it needs a certain like velocity or whatever, and all sorts. But
what if the ship is on the ground and the bomb lands on the ship?
I imagine it'll work with a height thing, like distance from ground.
Yeah.
So you'll just take the tallest ship in the game, and you'll limit it to say any impact above 20 meters doesn't count or something. I don't know. It's a good question. What if there's a ship landing on a roof on the ground? It's a good question.
I'm more thinking about like Hathor, where we saw Idris's, Polaris's just sitting over the hull.
I think that should still do damage. It's just if you try and drop it in air to another ship, it won't have enough velocity to activate or something. I don't know how they're going to justify it, but they're just trying to get rid of that gameplay because people were doing it. Polaris would come in and an A1 would just come in and just fly over and drop bombs on it and kill it pretty quick and pretty easily.
Yeah, I've seen some footage of A1s.
Yeah, I think I've seen Kyosa do it 100 times.
Yeah, laying an egg in a Polaris and then flying off and boom.
Yeah, exactly.
Let people have their fun. It wasn't like it was a widespread issue. It's like the sniper gun. Is that even still in? I don't know. No one really used snipers before for PvP, and then people just stopped using them because it was brighter than using a torch at night. It made no sense. It needed to be completely deleted from the game.
Yeah. let people have fun for sure. But when 1.0 comes out, I guess it is the kind of thing that shouldn't be in there, because they want the game to be played in the way they design it and not have like these workarounds. They want you to have to use the missiles and the torps to take out the big ships, because that's what the other ships were designed for. It's what the Eclipse exists for. It's what the Polaris missiles are for. If you can just use bombs, why have the missiles at all? And PDCs also target bombs, obviously now, ever since the ground vehicle came out with that capability with the PDC on the back. They actually never used to target bombs, because I guess they just never thought that would be a problem. So that also made it worse. So, yeah, I think it's the right step, to be fair, but it does take away a bit of fun from the sandbox gameplay. But it shouldn't be there in 1.0. So there we go. Happy to move on?
Yeah, let's go for it.
Alrighty.
We are 2 minutes from time.
Yep. Okay. Well, we're right near the end. Last couple of points here. So radar, stealth, and life support changes. So we've got stealth changes to cross section. So your cross section signatures are no longer passively detected. You now must actively ping your scanner to find ships hiding their IR and EM signatures, which is very interesting. Radar power as well as that, so you can now swap radar components, so you can actually make better radar components. Shout out crafting, because that's going to be a huge part of crafting, I think. And the amount of power you assign in your pips to your radar directly affects your aim assist, your ESP range. So your basically how your effective range and your auto aim that sort of kicks in when you get close to a ship, that range is increased by the more pips you put in your radar. So there's going to be a lot of it's almost worth having someone on your team now that is running like a tracker or an MSR with all their pips in radar and a fully maxed out radar component, and literally just have like an AWACS that flies around and just pings people, and you go, right, there's a player coming in there 20 kilometers out, they're this ship. Like, it's actually making that as a gameplay option, and I love that.
From a military perspective, it does and it doesn't, because I mean there is a scenario where absolutely it does make sense for you to run these very bespoke ships if you're running a larger org mission.
Yeah,
but that would be where you have shared intel between ships within your group.
Yes.
So we've talked about this before, where there's like an F-22 Raptor that's forward of another plane, say an F-15. It has a lock on the target, and the F-15 can, I mean, in some cases, it could be that the front vehicle is equipped with air-to-air weaponry, and the one behind is equipped with air-to-ground, and it can use the radar lock from the first one to fire from a further distance away to hit the ground target. In situations like this, where you are running an MSR in the group, or something which is more bespoke, say like a Carrack expedition, and you can ping targets from further away. Yeah, the tracker, or the Hornet tracker would be the fine example there. Yeah, is to share that intel between the group. That's the only scenario where realistically it has a defined benefit.
Yeah,
that's going in depth though.
Yeah, I 100% hear you. My only rebuttal to that, I suppose, would be, and I was playing today with Kara Mako, and we literally just gave each other compass directions. So if I picked someone up, I'd be like, oh, by the way, 060, they're 12 clicks out, I've spotted them. And then they would turn their ships that way, and then they would spot them. And so you can still give directions to say there's a player coming in from X distance that might not have picked you up, but you've picked them up because you've got all your power in your radar. So there's still a reason to have like a bespoke radar ship, I think, for detection purposes. And it's probably going to play into like ground scanning as well at some point for players or for ships or vehicles or whatever.
Yeah.
So I think there are going to be reasons to have it. But yeah, I agree. If you could share that, if you could pick someone up, lock them, and then say share with group, and you're...
Yeah, that would work well, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that would be good.
The other side of things is scanning a radar is not locking on to a vehicle, but in Star Citizen it's the same thing. You scan and you'll see things pop up, but you don't know what that thing is. Whereas an actual radar would say, well, you've got a target there, it's a Hornet tracker, it's a Cutter Rambler, it's a Polaris. Then you are locking on. Because I imagine, yeah, you can scan them, or scan for targets or ping them, and it will say, yeah, these targets are here. But only when you target them will you find out what it is. And at that moment where you target them, they're also going to know that they're being targeted, which nullifies the point of the whole scan.
I think, I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure you only get notified when you're targeted if they have missiles equipped. Pretty sure. In Star Citizen.
Okay.
Are you sure?
Well, I get targeted all the time. You're flying out of a space station, it's like, bing.
I think
Yep, you've been targeted.
I think your light comes up to say you're being targeted, but you don't get the red marker on the player that's targeted you or like an icon or anything. It just says you are being targeted with the little red
That is a
light.
nuance of it, yeah, but it will tell you are being targeted.
Okay, yeah,
so you
yeah,
would
yeah.
know at that point that there's something in the vicinity. Also, you should have a trade-off. You're using your radar to ping. That is a massive EM signature. So the moment you ping it, you should also ping up on other people's active scanners.
True, because that does happen. Your ER goes up as soon
Yeah.
as you ping, right? So, yeah, interesting. Well, I guess again, there's so many changes in this patch. It's going to be a really good one to dive in, and it's actually one you don't want to miss. And I'm not trying to you don't want to miss this patch. I'm not trying to sell people to go and play the game, but you should obviously go and play the game. But this is
People
actually
listen to this on Spotify on the way to work. Like, oh, Joe, I might just ring my boss. I'm going home. I need to try a radar.
But there's just so much changing from everything we've spoken about of the armor, the shields, the life support, the radar. You don't want to you don't want to skip 4.7 because I think it's going to be a learning curve if you do.
Yeah, it's literally it's hard to keep up.
It is.
It's hard to keep up. There's a wealth of changes coming to Star Citizen.
100%.
CJ Macy 4.0, yeah.
Well, I think this is something that was good, that was kind of teased with 4.0, and that was the final part of what we're going to talk about, which is life support. Managing ship atmosphere is now more deliberate, so you can refill a vented room, takes longer and costs more, making life support management critical during long battles. I personally don't think this is even in the game yet. I don't know.
You can vent the rooms.
You can vent the rooms for the fire, but I vented my rooms into space and stood there with my helmet off and I didn't start suffocating. So either that bit was bugged or life support didn't really kick in. I don't know.
There's so much coding that goes into this just to keep you on a platform that's moving through space and keeping you steady, making sure you're not like jumping around everywhere. It is containers within containers, and I can imagine if there's a bug, it needs a whole team, like a strike team like they have, to go in to remove a single bug. And then these are proficient coders. They should be putting more code on the game. But I always liken this project to, you're starting to build a house, but from the day dot, someone is living there. So you build during the day, you pack your tools away, let the backers live there for a period of time. You go back in and you do more work, and then you have to make it nice. And you spend time wearing that up and wearing it down so that people can live in this environment. And yeah, it's going to hamper development time, but at the same time, we get to share this journey with them and the community.
Absolutely. And that is going to, I guess, bring us to the end, unless you have just 5 more minutes to talk about ships. But only
5 minutes.
Say again?
I have 5 minutes.
Okay, we're going to just talk about the ships that have been announced, that we know are coming, and the little sneak peek we saw of what I think is a Scorpius variant, personally, or some kind of version of a Scorpius, but some people think it's the Aurora Mark II. I don't know if you saw the latest ISC.
No, not yet.
Okay, so let me pull it up on the screen real quick, because I can do that. Why have I just... Oh, I don't even know. I've just moved it to. I'm such a boomer. Where have I just put that? Oh, okay. What the hell? I've like split my... Okay, hang on. Inside Star Citizen. I've given up with Opera. I like Opera. Not the music, but the
Browser of choice.
The browser. But it does weird things where you can like split windows, and I've just like half split it along the middle. I've never done that before, and I don't know how to undo it, so I'm giving up and I'm just going to Chrome. because at least that doesn't happen on Chrome.
Fair enough. I'm not aware of any sneak peek that shows a Scorpius variant.
Well, I'm going to show you right now. So, where is my Riverside? Bear with me. So,
Chat, what are you most looking forward to ship-wise? I know I've seen Gridimus is talking about the whole B in 2 weeks, apparently. I have no idea.
Yeah, the whole B, that is a big one that's on its way, right? Yeah. That's going to be very exciting when that makes its way into the game. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the whole B and the new cross section of ye old cargo grid, which will be really exciting.
I just say, Jared's shirt is absolute fire.
Jared always is dappered, dude. He has like...
I love bumping into Jared and looking at his shoes. He's always got amazing daps on. He's even had a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles custom set of daps made. Really, really cool guy.
He's a very trendy guy, isn't he?
So, what are we looking for here?
So, I'll just skip forward to this bit here. They did mention in this section, by the way, that they're about to give us a reason to like look after our doors more. And no one talked about this, but I think they're talking about boarding gameplay.
Okay.
No, I haven't seen anyone else mention it in the video, so I thought I'd just mention it now because...
Is that Nova about to blow the back doors off the Corsair?
Absolutely is. But he just said there, we're about to give people more of a reason to target the doors. I feel like that's a hint of boarding gameplay. But...
Well, I've been long waiting for the Legionnaire.
Yeah, oh man, imagine if the Legionnaire dropped. But yeah, so if we just skip forward here, we've got obviously there's a new ground vehicle.
Oh, yeah.
Which looks pretty cool. I don't know, what's this called? The EV or something? It looks pretty cool. It looks like, I don't really know what the purpose of these vehicles are in the game right now, really, other than when base building comes out, I guess it'll be useful.
We need roads. If there were roads...
yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
Well, we know that's in the roadmap, isn't it? And we've got the whole B on the way, as we've spoken about already. So we're just... The one I wanted to talk about. The one... Obviously, there's a few other secret ships that they haven't spoken... Oh, yeah, and bombing missions, by the way. There's bombing run missions in 4.7 where you have to like bomb facilities, so bombers actually have gameplay to go and do. Really cool. But the thing I want to talk about is right here. Okay, let me put it in slow motion. So it's essentially...
Computer enhance.
Yeah, that did not do it. Playback speed. 1 point. Here we go. Right. So here we go. We're jerks. Is it ready? Right. Tell me that does not look like a Scorpius with its wings folded.
Can we go forward a few frames?
We can.
So for anyone that's listening on Spotify, right now I'm looking at very blurry footage of a silhouette of a ship.
With a spiky back. And that's it.
I mean, let's face it, it's the same manufacturer.
Well,
the new RSI style is more akin to the Scorpius. It's going to be more akin to, say, that the Polaris, because we know that this is the way that RSI is approaching their ships now. And we see this in real life. We don't see the same Ford Escort now that we saw 20 years ago. And we see vehicles come into existence and pop out of existence. Sometimes they get revamped and come back. So we're just seeing that with the natural progression of ships and design. You know, designers have got better. 3D artists have got better. They've learned new ways of working. So for sure, it's probably going to share a lot of elements with a Scorpius. But if they're talking about, I can't hear this, but are they specifically talking about an Aurora right now?
No. He said, and here's an upcoming ship that will show you, but very quickly because we're jerks. So basically, not...
Is that what he said?
That's
amazing.
Almost verbatim. So this is all they showed us. They didn't say what it was. But I tell you what, it does actually look like the Redeemer in the shape because it's got the engines here and the long sort of spikes, but it could be a Redeemer variant. I personally think it's a Scorpius variant, but it could also be a Redeemer variant because it's got the engines on the front and the back, which is where the Redeemer has them placed in those weird prongs, and it sort of goes backwards. But who knows? It could be the Aurora Mark II.
Maybe. I mean, I can see where you're coming from with the silhouette shape of the Scorpius from underneath.
It's this front bit as well. It's the front glass.
It is deliberately blurred as well. So
yeah, but it's just that very aggressive, sharp front glass.
Let's just eat up the hype and look forward to it.
Yeah.
Did you mention when it's coming out?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think it's upcoming.
Maybe the new Aurora is going to look tasty.
Here we go. I'll give you verbatim if you can't hear it for some reason.
I cannot hear this, no.
There's one more thing. Oh. There's one more thing coming in Alpha 4.7 next week, but we're only going to show you really quickly because we're jerks. So it is coming next week, whatever this is.
Oh, fantastic.
And what does he say afterwards? He gives us a catchphrase. Oh no, he says a new star for spaceflight arrives in Alpha 4.7. A new star for spaceflight. A new star.
So I guess we're going with... I'm starting to think that Jared is putting everything in your lap, where if you know about it, he's giving it away. But if you don't know about it, it's like, what?
No, I think he's a master rage baiter, bro. I think he just absolutely loves rage baiting. I don't think it means anything. I think he loves it, and he just likes to wind everyone up.
A new star.
A new star. I mean, is Scorpius a star?
Well, Scorpius is a constellation of stars.
A constellation of stars. I'm just... Everything to me points Scorpius. What about Aurora? Is there a star called Aurora?
No, Aurora is the effect of like the Aurora Borealis.
A new star. I'm going to call it. I think it's a Scorpius variant. Another one. They've already done it before. We've had the Scorpius Interiors. We've had the normal Scorpius. They could absolutely make another one. They could make a tracker one. I know we've got a QD one. They could make a tracker one. They could make a stealth one. They could make
there's a quantum dispatch version
missile. But yeah, they can make a. I think it's a Scorpius variant personally. But that's just my personal. That's my guess. But as no one else has been saying that from what I've seen in comments. So
there's not much longer to wait to find out, is there?
No, literally 5 days.
Are we going to be a DreamHack at the NEC when this drops?
Yeah.
God damn it!
I know. It's always the worst timing. The same happened in Insomnia before.
Oh, but we had the luxury of going, right, we own these rigs, get off, we're going to sit here and do the mission all together.
Yeah, we did.
All four of us just sat there late night at the NEC, just playing Star Citizen on proper flight rigs. That was amazing.
Yeah.
Core memory.
Yeah, that was a core memory.
So, I guess that's all we have time for this week.
Absolutely.
We still have more that we were going to talk about, but I don't know. Do you want to carry on, or do you want to...
No, I think we hit all the major points, and I think it's a great place to wrap up. And yeah, just want to say thank you ever so much for listening and watching, or both. Again, we live stream every Sunday at 9 p.m. GMT. Now that we're about to be out of British Standard Summertime, right? We're we going back to BST now?
We are.
Okay.
I would imagine British Summertime.
Yeah.
They keep coming up with new acronyms
it.
for this.
It's
annoying, but this is going to happen whilst we are at DreamHack. So we are losing an hour of sleep, my friend. And I know you've visited these before. I've worked these before. You will be the most exhausted you've ever been.
Fantastic. Can't wait.
So, much fun.
Yeah, fair enough.
But on that note, we're going to be at DreamHack at the NEC from Thursday to Sunday, and we are going to be supporting verbal controls. We are also having Acer Predator support the stand as well. So if you're visiting DreamHack, come down, pay us a visit. We'd love to have you. And you can get to try out the Monster Tech modular flight sim rigs. It has got the proper name. Yeah, modular flight sim rig, and it's incredible. I've spent many hours configuring these just so they're really like nice and perfect. And I'm still finding out things I can do with them. And it's always interesting to see other creators in the space go, I'm doing mine with this with mine, and I've tried this and I've failed at that, and yeah. So join us, DreamHack.
Yeah, come on through. Right. Thank you ever so much for watching, listening. As I said earlier, we're live every Sunday at 9 p.m. GMT, soon to be BST. So check whatever time it is for you from wherever you are listening from. If you want to come and watch us live, twitch.tv/Quantum Dispatch or youtube.com/Quantum Dispatch. Come on through, hang out with us live, and also make sure to check out the Concierge Challenge videos. We'll be back to hopefully a normal schedule on our next episode. There will be no live podcast next Sunday due to us being at DreamHack. We will be live. Well, I'm assuming you're not going to come home from DreamHack and do one because you're going to.
Do you know what? We're doing one now. Maybe the other boys could do one next week.
Well, that's not a bad shout.
We'll stay.
Okay, maybe there will be one next Sunday. We'll see. But if not, we'll see you in 2 weeks, or maybe in 1 week. Who knows? We're an enigma.
Nice. Right. I'll see you soon, guys.
Yeah, we appreciate you. Peace out. See you in the next one.